What's up, nerds? Dragon Ball Xenoverse is my favorite series of Dragon Ball games. More so than the Budokai or the Tenkaichi games, more so than Sparking Zero, and I, like several others, am desperate to see the next evolution in the series with Xenoverse 3. And with a new game being announced at the end of the month, we just might finally get what we've been wishing for. But we have to acknowledge that there are things they've gotten very wrong. There's also repeat choices they did across from 1 to 2 that would not work in the transfer to 3. Things that should be added, things that should be removed, and things that should be changed. And so, in this video, I'm going to cover everything that I believe needs to be addressed in ascending order of importance. Please keep in mind that I am one dumb guy on the internet. I'm not a game dev. I don't know what all goes into making these things, and I obviously have biases and preferences that some will disagree with. This video is all my personal opinions. I have zero issues with anybody disagreeing with any part of this. If anything, I'd like to hear your opinions on what you would like to see for Xenoverse 3. Another point is, I'm not going to make, the obvious screams like, you gotta add Super Saiyan 4, that stuff. I have my thoughts on that, and I'm gonna get into it later, but I'm not going to pick the popular stuff. I'm gonna pick things that I genuinely believe need to be fixed, removed, or changed. In Kanton City, as you play the story, you will occasionally find patrollers appearing on your map that want to challenge you to a fight. Once defeated, they give you a Dragon Ball, or some other equivalent if you already have all 7, and then they disappear completely. What I think would be fun is if, after beating the base story mode, you can have a chance for these types of encounters to appear randomly in between battles, and have the rewards vary depending on how strong the fighter is and how many you fight. Also, in the event that you get challenged by groups of 2 or more, make it so that you can team up with NPC patrollers or random avatars scattered across the city that'll fight on your team. That way, they can't cheat by ganging up on you in groups of 3. Looking at you, let's gang. Another big one, and as far as the miscellaneous tier goes, this is the biggest one I have. Give us the ability to turn off mentors. I don't know how the rest of the community views your mentor, like, jumping into the battle when you're like down to half your health or whatever. I personally hate it. In my opinion, the AI allies do nothing but get in the way, mess up your combos, and more often than not, they end up hurting your chances more than actually helping. It's not uncommon for me to literally just sit back and let my mentor die so that I can get back into the fray without distractions. I understand if some people like it. I'm not going to ask for it to be removed entirely. I just want us to have the ability to turn that setting on and off. Okay, look, we all know Saiyans are going to get the lion's share of transformations in this game. Super Saiyans 1 through 3, Super Vegeta 1 and 2, and hopefully 3, please? Super Saiyan God, Blue Evolution. I don't know if we'll get Super Saiyan 4, and I know even less if it'll be the GT or Daima version. Personally, I don't care one way or the other. It would be nice, but we already have so many other Super Saiyans that I really don't mind missing this one. Golden form is really good and works very nicely, and I would love to see black form added as well, but until it reaches the anime, I won't hold my breath. Namekian's giant form is alright, but they aren't worth anything unless it's a Great Ape that you're fighting, or Cell Max in the DLC. I think the orange form would be a perfect alternative. don't necessarily have to replace Giant Form, but I definitely want to see Orange Form in Xeno 3 for Namekian patrollers. Pure Form is absolutely the single worst form in this game. I say this genuinely, it's actually the worst. There's a reason you never see anyone using it. It overrides your character that you put time and effort into making and turns it into Kid Buu, which I don't think anyone likes. Pure Form needs to either get a full retooling or replaced entirely. And I don't know what you would replace Earthling's Nimbus cloud with, but if you can find something to give them, definitely do so, because with how easy it is to get knocked off of Nimbus, it really does feel like the Earthlings got cheated a little bit. Goku, Vegeta, Adult Gohan. These three are the worst characters to fight in the entire mid to late game. Why? Because they are programmed to spam their ultimates. Final Flash, Warp Kamehameha, Super Kamehameha. You will see them so much because they always throw them out the second they have the key for it, regardless of whether or not the timing makes it optimal or not. It makes them either pathetically weak or infuriatingly insufferable. In either outcome, it results in a not fun experience. In the former, they're so easy to read that you need damn near no effort to actually predict and counter their moves. In the form of the latter, you are forced to take a bunch of damage or drain a ton of stamina to block these attacks in order to survive, only for them to do it immediately again. This needs to be addressed. Change the AI so they're smarter about key consumption and the timing of which they use their ultimates. That is all I ask. It took about a decade for Xeno 2 to give us customizable versions of famous outfits. I absolutely want these to be in the standard shops of Kanton City or whatever it becomes. If it costs 3 times the zenny of the standard version, then so be it. I'm happy to work for the extra cash if it means I have easier access to them. And now the big one. The story mode is going to need a lot of adjustments to keep it from feeling like a rehash, which is a common criticism of Xeno 2's story mode. Obviously, we can't change everything. The premise of the series is protecting history, so we're still going to have to go through the same story beats. That is something we have to understand and accept. But that doesn't mean we can't get creative with it. One of the best parts of the DLC story from Xeno 2 is the mission when you and Trunks have to protect Frieza and allow him to destroy planet Vegeta. In this story battle, we are helping the villain, creating a morally gray element to our job. It's especially impactful if you're playing as a Saiyan. Literally, any Saiyan across history would rather go Super Saiyan and rip Frieza's tail off before forcing it down his own throat. But as time patrollers, we have to make sure events play out how they're meant to, and sometimes that means letting the bad guys win. For example, let's say Vegeta gets an evil aura boost when he confronts 18 during the Android Saga. If Vegeta was able to actually kill 18, not only would he have prevented the Cell games, but Krillin never would have married 18, and Vegeta wouldn't have ever had a reason to start his face turn by the end of the Buu Saga. He'd have confronted Goku the second he woke up, and for all we know, kill him. then how would they handle Boo? We need moments where we have to fight against the heroes that get a power surge from whatever villain we go up against. And on that subject, we need a new villain. Toa and Mira have had their time, and they did good work, but bringing them back at this point would just be lazy. There's some characters from Heroes that could easily be used, Hearts comes to mind, or they can make up entirely new characters. I'm open to ideas, but please, Toa had her run in 1, Mira had his big fight in 2, they are done, let's leave them in the past. I would also absolutely like to see the movie villains get utilized again, because they were a great extra threat to deal with during Xeno 2. And you can even expand it, because Android 13 was not used in the story at all, neither was Bojack. Another thing, please, don't have Goku come to save the day in Xeno 3's final boss. He gets a pass in the first game since it's possible to beat Demigra quickly enough so that Goku never gets involved. But in Xeno 2, there's no choice. Goku will always third wheel your climactic final showdown with Mira, and there's nothing you can do about it. I know that Goku is the guy and all that, but come on! How are we, as the player, supposed to feel like we saved the day if Goku comes in to hog most of the spotlight? And that's really all I can ask of Bandai Namco. I have other nitpicky things I could hope for, like optional sword combos and the like, but I'm not going to pretend that not having that is a deal breaker for me. When all is said and done, I like to think I've covered what I consider to be the most important things that I want from Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. I'm praying to Shenron that that's what we get. If I'm being honest, I don't expect most, if any, of my pleas to be heard. Namco cares more about what they can monetize than what people will actually buy. But if someone from Bandai is watching this, first off, thank you. I'm hoping they've heard what I had to say about a sequel that I and so many others can only dream of at the moment. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Check out my buddy Tyler Crux. He does a lot of fun stuff on his channel, like his Road to Completion videos. Definitely check those out if you haven't already. We collab all the time. I'll catch you later, nerds!